nervous than she was, and she wanted to do all in her power to make this first meeting a pleasant one. It could set the tone for the rest of their lives. She wanted to prove that mother and daughter-in-law relationships didn't have to be strained or antagonistic. A glance at her son's face confirmed the depth of his feelings for the woman on his arm. A warm glow spread out from Claire's heart. To see him like this made all the difficult times of the past fade into obscurity. Dakota shifted his gaze from Sara to his mother. He grinned. "Hi, Mom." "Hi yourself."
"Mom, this is Sara. Sara, my mother, Claire Conway."
Claire offered her hand to the young woman, for the first time taking a good look at her. She was tall, at least 5'10", and striking. She had cat-green eyes, long and curly burgundy-colored hair, a flawless complexion, and a perfect figure. For just a moment, Claire wondered if they'd met before. There was something familiar about her. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Conway." Claire gave her head a slight shake. "Please, call me Claire." That was much easier than trying to explain it was Ms. rather than Mrs. The younger woman revealed a hesitant smile. "I'd like that, Claire. Thank you. Come inside. I've got decaf ready. And I made a coffee cake for the occasion." "You baked?" Dakota's voice was filled with mock surprise. Claire shot him a censuring glance, but couldn't maintain it for long. When he laughed, so did she.
"Like I told you, Sara, Mom nearly forgot how to find the kitchen after I moved out. Now she only cooks at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, and on rare special occasions. Like this one. Right, Mom?"
"Right." Claire led the way into the house, then left Dakota and Sara in the living room while she proceeded into the kitchen. She heard the young lovers conversing softly as she poured coffee into 3 china cups and placed them beside the creamer and sugar bowl on a polished silver tray. Even from the other room, she could discern the happiness in her son's voice. Again, she was warmed by it. What mother wouldn't be? Dakota's early teen years had been hard ones. He'd gotten into more than his fair share of scrapes, taking out his anger and bitterness with rebellious and sometimes reckless behavior. Of course, his anger and bitterness had been no worse than her own, betrayed as they'd been by his father. Remembering her ex-husband brought a frown to Claire's brow. Foreboding followed on memory's heels, a sense that something was about to go wrong. But that was ridiculous. Nothing was going wrong. There was no room for anything but joy in this house today. The past was the past. Today, they were celebrating the future. Coffee tray in hand, Claire stepped through the kitchen doorway, then paused, unnoticed, to observe the 2 young people. Sara was looking at a display of photos on the mantel. Dakota stood with his arm around her shoulders, smiling contentedly. "Who is this?" Sara asked him, pointing to a framed snapshot. Dakota glanced at it.
"That's me and my mom when I was, about 5, I think."
"Where was it taken?" Sara sounded odd.
"That's our old house on Garden Street. It's where I grew up. Mom sold it after she got a divorce, right after I finished grade school."
"Dakota, what was your father's name?" Lowering his voice, he answered,
"I've told you why I never talk about him. I promised Mom I wouldn't."
Still, after all these years, he was keeping his promise to Claire. A promise she never should have asked him to make. It had been wrong of her to ask it, no matter what the reason. At the very least, she should have released him from it this spring. She almost spoke up, almost told him so, but something kept her silent. Something about Sara. The younger woman looked